Hello everybody, welcome back to WWTF. You want to pass the game from MikeC.
And I'm Rainway.
Today we're talking to you about Division 2 private beta.
Oh my God.
Private beta. So this is for all the people that pre-ordered it, right?
Yes.
Alright. So diving back into Division 2 was worth the wait.
It looks like a carbon copy of the Division 1.
Nothing better. No enhanced visuals.
No.
So the same game.
It looks to be the same game, and the accuracy of this, especially the White House part.
Right.
Now, when you play it, you're in front of the White House, and what's in front of it? That's Pennsylvania Avenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has no true depiction of the White House.
Okay.
It just has the White House, and then there's this garden, this water garden or whatever, this pond in front of it. I'm like, what the hell? What the White House did they see if they came to D.C.?
Mm-hmm.
So now I know I'm just talking about this beta, and it's not out yet, and people get flack. Well, it's not out yet, man. Just wait till it comes out. But we have seen good indications with like Ubisoft doing the watchdog effect. You know, they show us games on high-end PC, but then when we bring it home, we get watchdogs.
Correct. And that's true, like with that first Division trailer. Remember how different that looked, even as far as just bringing your map. It just looked more in depth or whatever, like real true 3D. You know what I'm saying? The map comes up. Division, that first E3 thing, I was like, man, this is going to be awesome if they keep this. Then what you get?
Watchdogs.
There you go, Watchdog. That's what it is, Watchdog.
You got dog.
You got dog, Watchdog. So you played this private beta because I didn't get a chance to do this. I didn't pre-order. So how was like as far as the gameplay? Let's say as far as the shooting and stuff like that. It felt exactly the same. Or?
It felt exactly the same, man.
Wow.
It was no difference on it.
So nothing. It didn't feel like nothing was new.
No, it didn't. And the colors were just. It's hard to explain, but like the colors didn't match the theme of the game.
Okay.
Now, say for instance, I know we talk about the Division, but let's talk about like Mario.
Okay.
You see how the colors capture you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's meant for that game.
Correct.
If you was playing Mario and they had like drungy or dingy graphics like Resident Evil, stuff like that, it wouldn't match that game. For some reason, when I'm looking at the Division 2, the colors, it's not matching the game. It's just something, I don't know what's that called, but it's just something that's not matching that game. And it's no different between the Division 1 and the Division 2 and the graphical part.
That's disappointing. Because this game come out in like March or something?
Now, see, this is what's confusing.
Okay.
Now, I have it pre-ordered on the PlayStation, and it still says, on the PlayStation, it says 300 and some odd days, right?
Well, it's supposed to come out like real soon.
Right. But, like on GameStop's website, it's supposed to come out January, February, March, right? But it's saying 300 days for some reason on the PlayStation Store. And I think I get that because I pre-ordered other games, and it said that it was going to come out later than what it did come out. But with the Division, I know like you and I think your brother got on it, and we had quite a bit of fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fun. That's a game that's fun to play with people. Just grinding through it by yourself, you really don't. It's not that same appeal. That is meant to be a multiplayer type of game, and we did have fun playing it, but after you beat it, like, what was next? You know what I'm saying? It was like one of those games like, okay, I beat the game. I'm like, what to do next? Go to the dark zone or whatever. Honestly, dark zone, they could just do without that, honestly. I really don't feel no real attraction to the dark zone. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So, this is the meat and potatoes about this segment that we're doing here. Whatever that they giving us in the beta, I know it's not the final product.
That's true.
It's testing to see what should they improve, what should they take out, stuff like that. But Ubisoft, whatever the hell they call, they have a tendency to not listen to the people that play their games.
Mhm.
And then the recommendations are just thrown out. So if we say this, that, and the other, and we don't like this, we don't like that, by the time the final release comes out, it seems like they didn't listen to anybody.
Mhm.
Now, the Division, when it first came out, this was supposed to be a depictional fact of how New York looked. Not to the exact, but the same area size. With this one in DC, I don't know if it will be depicted as much, because DC is a smaller area than New York, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the way that it looked. I wasn't enthused about the game. Even though I pre-ordered it so, you know, I can tell y'all not to, you know, if the game sucks. So I take an L for you all, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the game, to me, it didn't reach the heights of the hype that they were trying to get out. It's just something about the way that game looks. It looks a little cartoonish. It looks a little unpolished. It looks a little bit like when, what was it? PUBG first came to Xbox. It looks sort of like that. I'm not impressed about this demo. So hopefully, when the real game comes out, the official date that it comes out, hopefully they improved. But they can't improve by so much. And this is what I've come to learn, right? You have to port these games across so many boards, right? With the PC, you don't really have to worry about it, because you can put your all in the PC, right? Because a person can take their graphics card, switch it out. They could do a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? With a video game console, they're limited, because you can't interchange parts. You can't take out the CPU, you can't take out the GPU, and you can't do anything about the RAM. At some point, you can't do anything about the size of the hard drive. So it just, I don't know what to say about this one, man. I think it's going to get a couple of bad reviews, unless you see it on IGN where they're going to lie about it.
Or say that they played it.
Yeah, we played it and it's super duper good. Don't even put no effort into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's going on with IGN, man. It's like they turn on the PC, play it for like 5 seconds, and then they just write a whole article about it. So, I don't know.
Well, we should see. To be determined in the near future. Like right around the corner. And have you noticed, as far as a lot of these games or whatever, as far as when they release an open beta, it's like, just like, and let's say it's like 30 days before it goes out to you or whatever. So, but remember, I still take a throwback to as far as games back in the day. We need all this upgrade stuff. It was like, that's it, you got your complete game, dings and all. There you go. That's it. I think it was more pressure put on back then to do that, as far as to make the greatest game possible, and then ship it out to the masses. Right now, I'm not saying this isn't a good thing to improve upon it, but I think they know they have that window to keep on adding on to it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't give us our best right out the gate. I'm not saying that all companies do that, but I know definitely, as you see in the past, some companies do. You know what I'm saying? So
you take a look at like Nintendo and Sega and Dreamcast, and I would say that TurboGrafx 16, right? Atari.
Yep.
These games had to be good because they didn't want the backlash out, because they didn't have internet capabilities to fix the problems that they had. Now, there were games that came out on these platforms that was jacked up, and it was nothing that you can do, and you just gotta
play with a bad game. Yeah.
And then I think sometimes they had to do a version 2 of the game, but that was rare, and I've never heard of them doing anything.
I never heard of them like doing a massive like buyback or exchanging the game. far as with that, like it was totally just unplayable. That they said, okay, we'll take the L or something like this. But now with updates and everything, they can fix the problem.
Yeah.
So
because get it, y'all. Any game that you buy, CD based, digital based, any game that you buy on current generation right now, I'm talking about the Switch, I'm talking about Xbox, I'm talking about PlayStation, and I'm even talking about the PC. These games are not done. If they were done, why is it when I go home, why is it that I have to wait 30 minutes for an update?
Yeah, that's crazy. Every time. There's an update like every day. You're getting one game updated every day. If not, sometimes I turn it on, this has been updated. The PlayStation just makes all types of noise. This has been updated. Like they're really doing you a favor, you know. But you run out of hard drive space. You know what I'm saying? They only give you like the smallest hard drive possible when you first get the system anyway. And these games right here, think about back in the day, these games were not as massive as they are. No. Granted, of course, technology improves everything. Most games are beautiful looking. Let's take a case to God of War or whatever. Beautiful looking game. But as far as like now, it's a lot of hard drive space for these games. Because you got to download it to play it up on the system.
And check this out. Let me get a little nerdy for y'all right now. They don't print games on DVDs anymore, right? So a DVD back in the day, you had two types. You had a dual layer and then you had a single layer. Single layer was 4 gigs. Dual layer was 8 gigs. And that's what you got on like the Xbox and the PlayStation. Though PlayStation did have some weird format with the blue disc. I don't know what that was. But now we're putting things on Blu-ray. Blu-ray, the single Blu-ray is 25. The dual layer is 50 gigs, right? When they produce these games are way over 50 gigs. It's way over 50 gigs worth of information. So you're looking at like maybe 300 something gigs or maybe 200 something gigs. I would even say 100 gigs, all right? That's just because I don't want to get outrageous and somebody come out and say, you don't know what you're talking about. But I do know when these games are produced, they're over 50 gigs. And let's just say 100. How are you going to fit 100 gigs on a media that can only hold the max of a 50?
You can't. That's what the updates are for.
You can't.
So you can download it to your hard drive.
And even if they did do that, then the price of these games will go up.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
So they are printed, these games are printed on 50 gig discs at the most. Now you take a game that they have to scale that game down to fit on that disc. To be able to go to different platforms. And that's how they're doing it. So these games at E3, you're seeing the full-fledged game, like Watch Dogs. Now, if we were able to get the full Watch Dog game that they showed us at E3 way back in the day,
that would have been awesome.
It'd have been fine. But they had to compress all that information in order for that to fit on the disc.
And actually run.
To run. Because you have to think of people that don't have internet connections, then they get this game home. How are they going to play it? Well, they can't do any updates. They just going to have to go off of what's on the disc. So that's the risk that you take with that. You know what I'm saying? And then with these consoles, with our Xbox where you're able to do a daisy chain multiple hard drives, with PlayStation, not so much. I hope they implement that.
PlayStation 5, baby.
So, you know, but then it's just attached to have so many different hard drives. Now we're going back to the days of the 32X with all these bricks. You know what I'm saying? But that's what damn, what the hell was we talking about? Oh, the Division 2. Yeah,
you just get so passionate over here.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's it, man.
Wow. Hey, Division just had I'm just mad that this game ain't what it's initially set out to be. As far as it had great promise in the beginning with. I'll tell you, E3 sometimes messes you up. You got your hopes up this high, and then you get something like this. You're like, what the hell just happened? This is supposed to be coming out this month, this year, whatever. What happened between this month and this month? 5 months ago, it looked like this. Now it looks like that. What the hell? Is that why PlayStation ain't going?
Yeah.
I think PlayStation's they're going to announce something.
Yeah.
Everybody know they're going to announce something, so they
I mean,
definitely going to go throughout the whole year.
They already got dev kits out, so
okay, we can ramble on for hours and hours, but that's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
And like always, you guys can hit us up at thagamersshow@gmail.com. That's the Game Show with an A. Don't forget to head over to the Facebook store page to find low prices. Don't forget to hit us up on vTime. Don't forget to subscribe to become a Games Club member.
And please remember to like, subscribe, and follow all our social media networks. Join our Steelers community and our website community where you can get some free stuff. Yep. And we'll see you next time on WWTF.
We want facts.
Game Show.
See you next time. Keep watching.